forget to highlight those important phrases and words and phrases that you think focus on the topic of both castles, right? And we're trying to get her used to doing this on her own, making it a habit to go and annotate and find those important words or phrases, and make sure she looks at those bold words, and when she sees those bold words, she automatically goes on her own to the glossary to look for the meaning of it if she doesn't understand. So that's something that she should be adjusting to and doing on her own without me telling her to. Go ahead, Living.
Living outside the castle was another class of people called commoners.
Okay.
They were the craftsmen and farmers who lived in a small town and village, and the farms not far from the castle.
Okay.
The commoners were loyal to the nobles. They paid taxes, which allowed the nobles to live privileged lives.
So I'm going to want you to continue reading from page 5 and page 6. Also, while you're reading right here on page 5 and page 6, make sure not to forget to look at your text features as we move forward, before we move forward. So what are we probably looking at a picture of below? It says peasants farm the land around the Lord's castle. These are probably
the commoners.
Very good, because they live where?
Outside the castle.
And let's look at our next text feature on page 6.
The first castle. The first type of castle was called a Mont and Bailey.
Mott, like cot. First type of castle. It's drying out. Okay, take mine and I'll take yours. Okay, so the Mott and Bailey. So what kind of castle was the Mott and Bailey? What was it? Let's continue reading to find out.
The Mott was a high mound of dirt with a wooden tower built upon it.
Okay. So we're able to see a visual of that as well, so that we can know what that looked like. And then what was the other type? Or what's this? A wooden fence.
The wooden fence, called a palisade, was built. Palisade was built out from the mine.
Okay, so what's a palisade? It's a what?
It's a wooden fence.
Very good.
The
palisade
formed a wall surrounding the bailey of the yard that held the kitchen hall, stables, and other buildings along the noble.
Okay, so our noble, that first castle, and so the palisade was, the wooden fence was around our Mott and Bailey, and so all of the, what were all of the different things, that the buildings that were inside the palisade?
The kitchen, hall, and stables.
Kitchen, hall, stables, and some other buildings too was inside of that. So it's kind of like a little city inside the, like a little kingdom inside where the castle belonged. Okay, let's go on to page 7.
Later castles had stone moats or towers. Many of these castles also featured moats.
What are moats? What is it? It's going to tell us the definition right there within the text, huh?
Moats were ditches often filled
Filled with water
that surrounded the castle. As time passed, castles were built with a bigger tower and walls. They became larger with more rooms and passages. They came to look more and more like the large castles we see today. These castles were well built and had
Withstood
the test of time.
Very good. So we're going to stop right here because our lesson can continue on and on, but we're going to just focus up until page 7 to focus on our main idea and the details that support the main idea from just the beginning to page 7. Also, before we go on, I wanted you to look at the word moats, and you said moats were ditches often filled with water that surrounded the castle. And so what's very important for us to also understand through that meaning, we can also go back and look at our what?
Subtype.
Text feature. Okay, and see that this is what a moat looks like. That way we can get a better visual. Even though we know the meaning, we can also see it as well. So the next part of our lesson, because this was during reading, I'm guiding the student and as she's reading. So that's our during reading portion of our lesson. So after reading only up until page 7 today, we're going to go ahead and work on our strategy, which is 5-finger strategy, and we're going to use our 5-finger strategy activity and make sure that we understand our little chant that we use for our 5-finger strategy to complete this activity. So it's focusing on main idea and details and understanding that our 5 fingers represent our supporting details. And once we combine all of our 5 fingers and the supporting details together, we're able to compose our main idea. So that's what Briana is about to do right now today. And we're going to also use the activity given by A to Z for this particular lesson for castles as well. So the first box, which is what we're only going to focus on today, deals with the first subheading that we read from the beginning until page 7, and it's called the first castles. So that's what we're going to get the main idea about today. We're going to use our graphic organizer for main idea, our 5-finger strategy, and complete that. Then we'll move on and enter our information over here. We are not completing summary. That's another part, another lesson part, and so of course I'm not going to jump to another lesson when we're still focusing on main idea. So only main idea and supporting details, and we're going to use our 5-finger strategy and complete this, and then move on and enter that information on our castles activity. All right, Briana. So reviewing our 5-finger strategy, let's go through our chant. You want to go through our chant? 1, 2, ready, go. The thumb stands for who?
The thumb stands for who?
The pointy finger did what?
The pointy finger did what?
The middle finger stands for where?
The middle finger stands for where?
The ring finger, I have to hold my finger down. The ring finger stands for when?
The ring finger stands for when?
The pinky finger stands for why?
The pinky finger stands for
Main idea.
Main idea.
Main idea
Main idea
is what the text is mostly about.
is what the text is mostly about.
All right, so we're not going to do it over and over, and I'm going to get all into it and excited. So we're going to first complete this activity right here, and we're going to use our highlighted words and details that we pulled during our reading, as I guided the reading through the during reading portion of our lesson, and she's going to complete that using her information that she highlighted from the beginning of the passage to page 7 up to that point. All right, so go ahead, let's figure out first is what? Who or
Castle.
Castles. Awesome. Go ahead, fill that in over here. And I'm going to let you go ahead and complete that on your own. make sure you might probably want to use that highlighted information from your text to assist you with completing your 5-finger strategy graphic organizer. So I'm going to let Brianna go ahead and finish this portion, and then again, the final part of our lesson is to whatever she completes on here, and after reviewing and completing that and discussing it, then we'll move on, and she gets a thumbs up from me, and then she can move on and complete that portion for the first castles in the main idea and supporting details area. So next part is, we know we're talking about castles. So what did castles do? What were they? What did they do? Do you need your highlighter again? Did I take it? Okay. You see something else that we should have highlighted? Perfect. Good job. Castles were built for what reason? To do what? Oh, I thought you highlighted that.
To protect people from their enemies.
Oh, okay. So, are we ready to complete the pointy finger? Awesome. Do we need to write all of that? Castles did what? What can we say?
Protect from enemies.
Very good. Remember how we can paraphrase and cut it short and not have to write an entire sentence there, right? Now again, one of the main reasons I selected Brianna for this particular case study is because she really is into technology, but she doesn't like to read. But if she has to read, she prefers to have some type of technology integrated with the assignment or the lesson, and that's when we get more participation and more effort put into the lesson from Brianna. When she has technology and working one-on-one is a big deal. I get more out of her when she's working one-on-one with me. And she seems more eager to actually complete the assignment when it's one-on-one. So she's doing a good job so far. Okay. Make sure you do. Okay, what's the name of the place? Awesome. And I feel like the more and more that we do one-on-one with Brianna, the more independent she becomes. So I kind of wean her off from working one-on-one, and she's able to use these strategies that we've been doing together, so that when she's independently working, she can, it just will become habitual, become a habit for her. So this is the end of our lesson for now. She's going to continue completing her graphic organizer, and then she's going to transfer her supporting details to where it says supporting details or important details, and then of course she'll write her main idea sentence here only at this portion of our activity sheet, because we only read up from the beginning of the book to page 7, which was our subtitle, The First Castles. And then of course as we continue on with this lesson, we will do more graphic organizers for each subheading and then complete as we go down. And then of course when we return and begin the summarizing lesson, then we'll complete this part of the worksheet as well. So go ahead and finish completing your why. I hope you've enjoyed this portion of our case study of a video lesson of guided reading for the skill of main idea. Joanna Joseph signing out along with Brianna. Brianna, say bye.
Bye.
All right, thanks. Bye.